Hello guitar students, David Osborne from KidsGuitarAcademy.com here, coming at you with another free Kids Guitar Academy tutorial. This time I'm going to be showing you how to play Harpy Hare. This song is super fun to play, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know in order to play it correctly and get it down as quickly as possible. And then after the lesson, I've got a full playthrough for you. So to begin, let's start by looking at the structure of the song. So this song begins with an intro section that features a short theme that is repeated multiple times using different harmonies. Once you play through the intro section, you'll hit the verse section, which is the main section of the song and features the main theme of the song, which is the Harpy Hare, Where Have You Buried All Your Children part. Now you're going to play through this verse section twice before moving into a reprise of the intro theme. Once you play that, you'll do a short breakdown of the main theme of the song before building up into the outro. So there's quite a few sections to work with here. However, the entire song consists of only 7 phrases. So if you can get these 7 phrases on your fingers, you're going to get this song. So grab that guitar, throw a capo on the 7th fret, and let's get started. Alright, so in order to get this song down as quickly as possible, you need to know your open G major scale. Now the reason this is so important is because all of the notes in the song come right out of this scale. Here's what the scale sounds like. So very cool sounding scale. In order to play it, you just want to make sure your hand is in the first position from the capo. So I'm going to be using my first finger for any notes that are on the 1st fret, second finger for any notes on the 2nd, 3rd for 3rd, and pinky will be reaching up to the 4th fret. All right, so we want to start with the 3rd fret from the capo on the 6th string. We're going to play that note, and then we're going to move up to the next string, play it open, then 2nd finger to 3rd. Now moving up to the 4th string, play it open, 2nd finger to pinky on the 4th fret from the capo. Moving up to the 3rd string, it'll be open, 2nd, next string, open, 1st, 3rd, and then on the 1st string, open, 2nd, 3rd. And you just want to practice playing it from low to high. Okay? Do your best to stay on the tips of your fingers as much as possible. Now the last step, as always with scales, is to start from the high note and go down to the low. So I'll start on the 3rd finger here, and I'll go down 3rd, 2nd, open, next string 3rd, 1st, open, next string 2nd finger, open, on the 4th string pinky, 2nd, open, 3rd, 2nd, open, and then ending how I began. All right, so once you have the scale down, you are ready to jump into the intro. So the intro has 4 phrases, and each phrase is played with the exact same timing. So we just want to get the timing of this phrase down, and then we're going to apply it to the next 3 phrases. Here's phrase 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat it. All right, so real easy, all played with the 2nd finger on the 4th and 5th strings. And the timing of it is counted like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. So you want to get that timing dialed in, because as we go into the next few phrases, you're going to be repeating that same exact timing. So one more time. That was 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. Now when we go to phrase 2, it's going to be the exact same timing, but the notes are going to be on the 2 middle strings. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat it. All right, so you can hear that it has the exact same timing. It's just that we're now harmonizing the original phrase by playing notes that are a little higher up in the scale. So here it is one more time, slow. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. Now, if we're sticking to our scale fingering, we should be using the middle and pinky. Now, we don't have to use those fingers. If you really struggle with that fingering, which is tricky, you could use first and third fingers to make it a little easier. All right, now let's look at phrase 3. We're now going up even a little higher in the scale here, but the rhythm and the timing is exactly the same. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so here we're just staying on that 3rd string and then moving down to the 4th string to catch that 4th fret note at the end. Here it is timed slowly. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. All right, now on to the last phrase of the intro. Once again, we're just harmonizing the original melody with yet even higher notes that are on the 2nd and 3rd strings. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. All right, so pretty easy. We're just a little higher up in the scale there, using the exact same timing that we've been using. All right, so once you've got those under your fingers, you're ready to head into the verse. So the verse section has our remaining 3 phrases, and it begins with the main theme of the song, which is phrase 5. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so one thing that's important to notice is that when you play this phrase, and really all the phrases in this song, you want to play them very legato. Now, legato is just a musical term that means tied or connected, and it refers to the way the notes blend together without spaces between them. So, for example, here's what the phrase would sound like without using a legato sound. So notice that there's little breaks between each of the notes. Now here it is again, played legato. Okay, that sounds much, much better. It's not easy to do, and it really just relies on playing on the tips of your fingers so that the other notes, especially the open notes, can continue to ring out even as you're playing new notes. A great way to practice this is just to play up and down your open G major scale while keeping notes ringing as much as possible. So for example, if I start on the top note of the scale, I'm going to play it straight down, but as I go from string to string, I'm going to try to keep the open strings ringing. So I'm going to keep that first string ringing as I go to the 2nd string. Now that open note is going to ring into the 3rd string, and now into the 4th string, and so on. So that's a great way to practice getting a more legato sound. All right, so all of the phrases in the verse are 4 bars long, so they're a little bit longer. But each of these phrases are put together by a series of groupings. So in phrase 5, we've got a grouping in the first bar, then a second grouping in the second bar, and a third grouping in the third bar. All right, so each of these groupings, when put together, make up the phrase. And it's a good idea just to practice each individual grouping. Grouping 2. Now grouping 3. Right? Practice each one individually and then put them together. So here's phrase 5 played slow. 3, 4. All right, now you're just going to repeat it a second time. And then we go into phrase 6. Now phrase 6 begins with 2 pickup notes right here at the end of the 4th bar. All right, pickup notes are notes that actually come before the first beat of the phrase. So the phrase actually sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. So a little bit longer, more notes happening there. But what we want to do is, instead of just starting it on this open note, we want to play these pickup notes that come right before the phrase begins. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then on beat 4, we play our pickup notes, and then we're into the phrase. This is probably the hardest phrase of the entire song because there's so many notes and it's constantly moving. But once again, it's made up of 3 groupings of notes. So here's grouping 1. We just want to practice that. Then we basically have a repeat of it. So it's the same grouping played twice. And then as we come into the 3rd grouping, we hop up to the 4th string. There's actually 3 pickup notes here. Before we go into the main part of the grouping. So let me play that last one again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. All right, so practice each grouping individually and then string it together. Here it is slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now this brings us into phrase 7. Once again, we have 2 pickup notes that are going to lead us into the first beat of the phrase. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, just like the previous 2 phrases, this is built off of 3 groupings of notes. Here's the first grouping. Then the second, and the third. So once again, practice each of those individually and then string them together. Here it is slow. Once again, I'm starting on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a quick note about this phrase and the previous phrase. The middle pinky combination is tricky. If you're really struggling with it, you can move your hand up to the 2nd position and play these 2 phrases using the 1st and 3rd fingers. So if I did that, this phrase would look like this. Right? So for some students, that's going to be a lot easier. Same thing applies to phrase 6. You would then stay in the second position for phrase 7 and then return to the first position as you repeat through the verse, starting with phrase 5. Now, once you've played through phrases 5, 6, and 7 a second time, we return to phrase 5 and play through it 2 more times before heading into the next section of the song. So we play through phrase 7, and then we return to phrase 5, repeat it a second time, and this is going to lead us into the next section, which is simply a reprise of the intro. Except here we're only playing the first and second phrases. Phrase 2. And then that's going to lead into our breakdown. So we're just repeating the first 2 phrases of the intro before going into the breakdown, which is simply phrase 5 played twice. Now, all of the rest of the instrumentation is going to drop out here, except for you'll hear some percussive taps that are played in the background as you play through this main melody. Now you'll notice on the second time you play through it, you're going to repeat the last grouping. So I just repeated the third and last grouping of phrase 5. And then again. And this will bring us straight into our outro. Alright, so the outro begins with another reprise of the first 2 phrases from the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Phrase 2. Now you can see that there I started to go into phrase 7. Now we're going to end the song with phrase 7. However, there are some slight differences to the way we play it this time. We're actually going to sort of break up the groupings a little bit. We're going to start by playing the first grouping of phrase 7. But we're going to hold out that last note before going on to the second grouping. Hold out that last note of the grouping before repeating that second grouping again. And then repeating it a third time. And that's how we'll end the song. So this is a return to phrase 7, but it's just slightly altered as we're only playing the first 2 groupings of the phrase and we're putting more space between them. Here's that last phrase played slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, well, great job working through the phrases. Your next step is to practice putting them together using the play along. Now, this song moves at a pretty fast pace, so if you need to, simply slow the song down by using the speed controls in the video settings. All right, well, make sure your guitar's in tune, and let's give this a shot. Well, congratulations on learning Harpy Hare. I hope you had as much fun learning it as I did. If you have any questions, comments, or song requests, be sure to put them in the comments, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the next Kids Guitar Academy tutorial.